Hi, you're listening to Childless and Moving Onward. This is the place where we talk about thriving in life when you're a woman who is childless, not by choice, regardless of the road that brought you to childlessness. Hi, and welcome to episode 39 of Childless and Moving Onward. And this is a podcast where I dive into the often overlooked group of women, those of us who are childless by circumstance, not by choice. Today, I'm going to explore the stigma that's been placed on us by society. And because laughter to me is the best medicine, as they say, I do try to add in a bit of humor at times just to lighten up the pain of this topic. So let's start with the basics. Childless women in general face a stigma in society. What is the stigma? Where does it come from? Why does that exist? Well, this stigma is complicated. It is definitely widespread because it's deeply, deeply rooted in society. Society often sees women who have no children as being rebellious, like we're going against the norms of society. Because, well, let's face it, the expectation behind normal for women is to be a mom. And so we're somehow viewed as abnormal. Sometimes we're actually seen as sinful by some. It's kind of like we're the adult version of being part of the troublemakers group. But we don't get the cool group jackets or anything else that's part of the cool group that comes with it, right? The pain comes with it instead. And then there's the pronatalism. And that is the belief by society that promotes parenthood is the goal for humanity. It's the belief that a woman's primary role is to give birth. Now, there's often a division between the women who are childless not by choice, those who wanted to become moms but aren't going to be for whatever reason. There's a division between that group and those women who choose to be child-free. The division is both between the two groups and it's imposed on us by society. Although women without children are generally looked down on and seen in a negative light, no matter the reason for not having children, there are some people who will heap on a whole different criticism and negativity onto those women who choose to make the choice to not have children for whatever their reasons are. Now, someone that I've been around, it's one of those situations where you can't avoid this person. Thankfully, I don't have to be around this person often. Like it's very once or twice a year. But it's a situation where, okay, you got to sort of keep the peace, but I also want to keep my own peace. But this is someone who's constantly, every time of the handful of times over the last few years that I've been around her, constantly telling people how proud she is of her daughter because she's managed to have children and a career, and always emphasizes that she's able to have children and have a career. Now, this person doesn't say this to me directly. It's always sort of, I'm on the fringes hearing it. But the message is always like, that is somebody to admire, and anybody who doesn't do that, there's something wrong with them. She doesn't respect that person. She hasn't said it to me directly, But it's one of those situations where I hear it and I think, I used to, if I heard somebody like that in the past, I would have felt that diminishment of myself, this person diminishing me. But I don't anymore. I look at it differently. I feel badly for this person who, A, can't see that there's fulfillment in other ways, and B, has to make these comments to feel good about herself by putting other women down. So that's how I see it. But that has been my experience. And again, that's not somebody I have to be around often. So and it's not being said to me directly one-on-one. So I let it go, but I also understand that this happens routinely for many of you, and it's painful. And it tends to be something we take upon ourselves and start to believe. No, there are other avenues to fulfillment. And the division among women is damaging. It's damaging to women as a whole, and it's certainly damaging to women who are childless not by choice. Also to those who are choosing to be child-free. The division between those two groups is also harmful. Regardless of the reason why a woman doesn't have children, there is a shared experience. There's a common experience. It's kind of like trying to categorize people into cat people and dog people without acknowledging that underneath for both is a love for their pet, regardless of the species. So women without children, whether by choice or not, face stigma. They face othering. They face the assumption that we are less than, that we are selfish, that we are abnormal. Oh, and by the way, this person who has said this around me has made that clear. She feels women who don't have children are selfish. So it's again not something being said directly to me. It's something I overhear. But I now, because it's someone I really don't have to interact with much, and it's not being told to me directly, I let it go. Because again, like if you have to say those things, be hurtful to another woman to feel good about yourself, that's a reflection on you. But getting back to this in particular, women who are childless not by choice often face the unique challenge of having this grief that's not acknowledged, that's not believed. On the other hand, women who choose not to have children are seen as selfish. Though there are some people who view those of us who are childless not by choice as selfish also, because we're seen as not having done enough to have children. Now, for many, if not most women who are childless not by choice, the path there is a rocky one. No matter the reason for your being childless, there are emotional and psychological challenges, and often physical ones as well. And navigating all of this is usually, it's like riding the most intense of roller coasters with the twists and turns and ups and downs, like one of those hyper coasters. Except it's without the fun part, the part where you scream and laugh and have a good time. There's a loss and the reshaping of how we see ourselves that comes with being childless, not by choice, that is rarely understood by anybody other than those of us in this community. So, this lack of understanding by society leaves women who don't have children facing painful pressures and microaggressions. So, what does that mean? Those are the everyday verbal and nonverbal slights. They're snubs or insults, sometimes outright, sometimes subtle. They're insults that communicate disrespectful or negative messages to individuals based on their membership in a marginalized group. And women who are childless, not by choice, are a group that is alienated. So let's talk some examples of this. Well, first is this woman that I have to deal with very, very, very occasionally, making these comments that are very clear that they're directed at me, though they're said to others loud enough so I can hear, right? Those digs. My daughter made it a priority to have children while she's also having a career. Well, good for her. Not all of us get that. There are the intrusive and personal questions about our childlessness, judgmental comments. Oftentimes there's unfair work schedules, and women who don't have children are expected to take on extra work, extra shifts, stay late, give up time off. Women without children are assumed to have endless free time and no other responsibilities. But it's not just a work issue. In families, childless women are often expected to accommodate others' schedules. Well, we have to do it then because this is what works for me with my schedule with my kids. Well, that doesn't work for me though. Oh, but you don't have kids, so you'll have to work it out. It's too common for people to suggest that we aren't contributing to society. And by not having children, that we should have no say in society. Oh, but they do still want us to pay our full share of taxes, right? This is only the beginning of the microaggressions. They are all there. They are there all the time, every day. And that's what we face. And how good does that feel, right? It doesn't. So to overcome this stigma, though, it requires addressing it from different angles. It needs, one, a personal approach and recognition of the personal empowerment that it provides by dealing with it. And two, it also needs support from the community, from our personal family communities, however you define family, from our personal bigger local communities, the greater community, and society as a whole, to challenge this view that places this stigma on us. We each need to trust ourselves, recognize that what we've done is what seemed like the best approach for our individual situations. Right? So others may criticize, you made choices, so you're not childless, not by choice. Well, we usually have made choices between two equally unappealing options. But we've made these decisions based on the best information that we had at the time. We need to trust that we did the best that we could. We also need to recognize that our worth isn't defined by motherhood or not being moms. redefine your life and find new meaning outside of the life you had planned as a mom. We shouldn't have to, but we are at a place where educating others about the unique challenges that are faced by childless women, that education is needed. It's frustrating. I get that. We shouldn't have to do that education, but we do. But look at it as a way of fostering understanding instead of looking at it as, I shouldn't have to educate you. True, we shouldn't. But look at it as an opportunity to gain understanding. Call out the microaggressions that you face. Speak up at work. Call it out in your families. So part of this is our personal responsibility, our personal views and how we see ourselves and how we engage with others in our small communities. But then there's the larger scale, society. So how do we make an impact there? We'll reach out to public figures and to media to address the common and the hurtful stereotypes of women without children. When public figures themselves make negative comments about childless women, call them out. Let them know it's not okay and that they are contributing to the social stigma that is damaging. Now, a part of this that's vital is to be part of support groups, to be part of childless communities where you are with others who understand the unique challenges of being childless not by choice. Because there truly is strength in numbers. Now, using these strategies, when you get going, it's empowering. It's also part of self-care and helps on that path to fulfillment. As a childless woman, not by choice, overcoming the prejudices from society requires a blend of strategies. Personal ones that include empathy, the larger ones that include community support, and a deep understanding of the challenges. And as they say, laughter is the best medicine, and it truly can be a powerful tool in navigating these challenges. Every woman's path to childlessness is unique, and so is the path to working on healing. It's vital to value and support each other in all our diverse paths. And that value and support starts within us. We each have to value ourselves. And that worth is not dependent on becoming parents. That's a narrative that has been imposed on us. And the shift to take society away from that shift starts with our own thoughts about our value. All right. Thank you for listening. That's it for today. I'll be back with you next week, and then we're going to be talking about redefining success and worthiness. Have a great week.
I appreciate you listening. I hope this episode was helpful to you. If you liked what you heard, schedule a free discovery call with me to see how I can help you to feel worthy and live a fulfilling life. To schedule, click on the link in the episode notes, or you can find it on my website at pathonward.com. You can also see more from me on Instagram at childlesspathonward and Facebook and YouTube at pathonward. Until next week, thanks again for listening.